Welcome to episode 11. This is the last episode that speaks to our holiday in December 2023. And it is about our last night and last afternoon at Rooiputs in the Kgalagadi Transfrontier Park. This trip really was one of the best trips we had ever had in the Kgalagadi, and I mean, to be fair, some people have been going to the park for over 40 years. We're relative newbies, considering we're quite young with young kids. What we have learned is the difference between winter and summer is quite different. Kgalagadi holidays in the summer are definitely more eventful than the winter ones. From our experience, both in sightings and in general camp life, there is a big difference between time at the Nosorp, Rivieren or Mata rest camps and time at Rooiputs. And as a family, you need to be prepared when you're in an unfenced camp. But that's not to say it is not doable and really rewarding when you do. So on our last afternoon at Rooiputs, we had the most incredible morning with the lions, both the two male adults as well as the teenagers, or the otherwise known as the Three Musketeers with their mom. Those experiences will be forever in our memory books. But then we went back to camp to try and recharge not only our equipment but ourselves, and ended up having quite an incredible sighting at our A-frame. It all started while our daughter was entertaining herself in the A-frame, and from the corner of her eye saw the sudden flash of yellow. She very quickly identified it as a snake and ran out of the A-frame towards us, shaking and in a little bit of a panic state. So quickly, after assessing that our kids were safe, we ran to get our camera equipment to see if we could find the snake. We then got the most incredible opportunity to watch how this Cape Cobra slithered in between all the planks and the wood of our A-frame, clearly looking for something. It was then that we saw a whole bunch of bats suddenly fly out of our A-frame, clearly trying to get away from the snake. There was clearly one bat that had got caught, and although we could not see the Cape Cobra at that point, we had assumed that it had been bitten by the Cape Cobra by watching the bat moving. It was a short while later that we realized the snake had its lunch and was trying to leave the A-frame, and we had the opportunity of watching it slither out the A-frame and back into the bush. It was a short but very eventful sighting of a Cape Cobra hunting. It's worth talking about what we learned from this experience, as I explained to my daughter at the time. As scary as snakes can sometimes be, it's important to realize that they're not really interested in us, but rather after their own survival. It is a valuable lesson to learn that they're not after us as humans. They just want to get what they need safely and get away. If we stay out of their way, they will stay out of ours. Even though it can be terrifying at the time, I think it is a valuable skill to learn to stay calm in a difficult environment. We as a family are no less fearful of the dangers that snakes can impose, but I do believe that we are better prepared for those eventualities, and all of us will be a little bit calmer and more measured in our response.
These must be one of the funniest looking birds when they run. Actually, maybe not. I think the ostrich wins this one. These guys are really beautiful. I was able to get a couple of close-up pictures of their head, which highlights the stunning colors on the face. Secretary birds are mostly terrestrial and only fly when they are being pressed. I can count on one hand the amount of times that I've actually seen them fly. They are super fast runners and rely on their speed to escape danger. We were fortunate enough to come across these two cheetah resting in the shade one late afternoon. We did not see as many cheetah on this trip as we did during our last trip, so this was a really nice sighting for us. That just goes to show that you can't just expect to see the same sightings as you did on previous occasions, so take it all in and enjoy every moment. we came across the stunning tawny eagle foraging on the road one late afternoon. This is just another example of how many birds of prey that we saw on the road or walking along the riverbed during this trip. And I'm not complaining. We really enjoy learning about all the animals that we do come across on our trips. These beautiful birds are diurnal, which means that they are active by day and they sleep at night. They are monogamous and usually pair for life.
Our last night at Rooiputs was exceptional. Not only was the weather absolutely perfect with little to no wind, clear skies and amazing stars, but we were left with such a feeling of complete satisfaction after this entire adventure. We opened our last bottle of wine, saved the best for last, and spent the evening watching falling stars and listening to the incredible sounds of nature, as well as those really beautiful barking geckos. I hope you've enjoyed watching our adventure with us. Although there won't be a follow-on in terms of this is the end of our trip, I will say that there will be a 12th episode, which will be somewhat of a highlights reel and post-reflection from Jay and I about our experience. If you are not already, please remember to like and subscribe. It goes a long way to help us with the YouTube algorithm. And remember to comment below and let us know your thoughts and feelings about our adventure, but also about your future adventures. We absolutely love learning from you guys and love sharing the knowledge we have learned from the few years that we've already been there. Thank you so much for watching.